Hey, 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 Facebook fam. Good morning. Happy Thursday. How are you today? If you're catching me live, please say hello, hit the like button so I know that you're here. If anything that I'm saying as I'm going along today resonates with you, please give me a heart. So hit the love button. We'll be talking about eating healthy on a budget today. If you're watching this video as a replay, please hit hashtag replay. And any questions? If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments below. If I've got some time, I'll come and answer those for you, or otherwise answer them later on. So, Thursday morning, it's raining out there. Took my daughter across to school and we had our umbrellas out. That was fun. Running down the hill, umbrella going flying. Provided some entertainment this morning. Alrighty, so I'm just going to get straight into it. So eating healthy on a budget. So I guess ideally, being able to eat grass-fed beef and organic vegetables and organic produce, now that is just the ultimate. And it's the absolute ideal, which I totally recommend for our bodies and for our health. However, I do understand that it can be pricey and it's not always going to fit within our weekly, monthly, yearly budget. And I understand it's not always achievable. What I like to use an analogy actually, and when it comes to, I guess, our fueling our body and our, in regards to nutrition and our body and our health, a car analogy. So think of your body as a Ferrari. So a Ferrari is a high-powered, high-performance vehicle, yeah? So with a Ferrari, we're going to want to be able to put the best possible fuel into our Ferrari to get the most optimal performance out of it. So putting the best possible foods that we can, food and drink, that we can into our body to be able to get the best out of our body in that space and, allow our body to run at optimal level. So if we're filling our body with, or our Ferrari with, what's the crappy little fuel type of thing? I mean, not unleaded, but I think there's one below that. So if you're going to be filling your body with that type of fuel, and I mean, no judgment whatsoever. It's, whatever is fitting into your budget as such. Just be aware with that you're not always going to get the best possible performance out of your body in that space. So that's what I'm meaning in regards to the car analogy. The better the fuel that we put into our car, so into our body, the better output and the better performance that we're actually going to have. Oh, that reminder just popped up. So it's going to run at our absolute best with the best possible fuel that we're putting into our body. Alrighty, so I've got my 7 top tips here today, eating healthy on a budget. So my notes aren't quite as long as previous weeks, which is good. So I'm aiming for that 20 minutes today. Let's go. So here are some tips. Here are my top 7 tips to sustain your health and be able to achieve a better body composition, all while eating on a budget as such. Alrighty, so if we're thinking about our body and fuel, so think about actually putting more nutrient-dense foods into our everyday diet as opposed to nutrient-poor foods. And when I'm talking about nutrient-dense foods, I'm talking about, proteins, so chicken, lean meats, Greek yogurts, so those, nuts and nuts and that aren't proteins as such, but talking about nutrient-dense foods. So, really good quality, I guess, sourdough bread in that space. So you're actually filling your body with food, so vegetables, fruits, that are full of nutrients and vitamins that are actually going to sustain your body and fuel your body in that space. So the big advantage to this is you're actually going to feel fuller for longer. Alrighty, so that means that you're not going to perhaps want to eat as often. Now, compare this to if you're filling your body with nutrient poor foods. So let's just say, for example, you're eating a lot of takeaway type of foods. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. So if you're eating a lot of, say, takeaway foods, which is full of sodium, and they're not always nutrient dense in this space. So you're actually, about an hour later, you're going to feel hungry again, which means you're going to want to eat more food. So you're going to be buying more food. So we're looking at the long term and the long run here as well. So if you're not filling your body with nutrient dense foods and you're choosing to fill your body with nutrient poor foods, so foods that aren't full of, all your multivitamins, your minerals, all those micronutrients that are going to really fuel your body and keep it running at its best in that space, then you're going to want to be eating more. Alrighty, so obviously then that's going to be pushing up your price that you're spending on food in that space. Because you're not going to be satisfied within that space as well. So just keep that in mind in that space, that poor meal choices are going to be leading to you wanting to eat more. Alrighty, and that obviously then leads to you spending more on your food. So just consider next time you're grocery shopping, what exactly is going into your trolley there? Is it nutrient dense or is it nutrient poor? Alrighty, so tip number 2 for you is actually make the most of your food. So whatever food that you are buying, and whatever food you do make, allow it to go further. So example, like a chicken and salad, like a really healthy dinner. We've all got access to, maybe some chicken breasts or even buying a cooked chook from the shop. Actually make that go a couple of, further meals as such. So you can add some more, grains or some eggs to that as well. Some more protein sources that are actually going to keep you feeling fuller for longer and actually make you feel satisfied within that meal as such. And then, anything that's left, like I see or I hear of people that they like to cook fresh that night, which is fantastic. However, if they've got any leftovers, they throw them out. I'm like, what? What are you throwing out your leftovers for? Like, to me, I love leftovers, I make sure I'm having them the next day for lunch or even the next dinner. A, it's saving me time for cooking, and B, I have to say, a lot of the time leftovers, like, sometimes food can taste better the next day as opposed to, the first time that you cook it. Like sauces, spaghetti sauces, for example, where the herbs, the fresh herbs and stuff has had time to actually infiltrate your food, so to speak, and just give that amazing aroma. So use your leftovers and... yeah, so as I was saying, add more to it. So if you've just got a chicken and a salad, so to speak, which is an awesome meal within itself, but to make it go a little bit further, maybe add some seeds and some nuts to your salad, add a boiled egg. It's just going to enhance the volume in that space of the food and the food quality to allow you to feel fuller for longer. And compared to, say, eating out, like if you're going to a cafe and you're getting a chicken and salad, let's say, for lunch, which is costing you up to $25 these days, that's pretty expensive. So if you can make that same meal at home, then you can make a chicken and salad for like $10, and that can be like, well, a cooked chook. I'm not even sure how much a cooked chook costs these days, maybe $10 maximum. And then putting together salad maybe costs $10 as well. So 20 in total, but that's going to be enough for probably 2 or 3 meals for one person. So that's going to, go further in that space rather than eating out at cafes as well. Now, your fruit and veg, which we always put our fruit and veg into the crisper at the bottom of the fridge, right? I don't actually call it a crisper because I totally believe that anything that goes into those two drawers, it never actually comes out. Like when I go to use it, let's say 2 or 3 days later, it's never crisper than what it was when it went in first, right? So I actually call it a rotter. That's what I like to know my bottom drawers as. But my point here, getting to the point, is, when your fruit and veggies are starting to go soft, instead of throwing them out, what we can do is we can put them into, a casserole, or put them into the slow cooker, put them into a smoothie and blend it all up, So you can still use those foods that are starting to go a little bit soft, as opposed to, thinking, oh God, it's gone bad, I've got to throw it out. I mean, obviously, if it's going moldy, then by all means, please throw it out. That's not safe to eat. But I'm talking about foods that are going soft. We can use those rather than throwing them out in that space. And this leads into my tip number 3. So reduce your eating out and make more things at home. So tip number 3 for you is, if you're trying to eat healthy or trying to eat on a budget as such, don't keep going out to cafes as such. You're going to be spending a lot of money by doing that. So, things like smoothies, you can make at home, like instead of, say, getting a Boost juice or going to a cafe to get a smoothie. All you need is some frozen berries or maybe some soft, fruit and veg that's been in your fridge for a couple of days. You can throw it into your NutriBullet, blend it up with a little bit of almond milk, some water, chuck in a scoop of protein powder, and voila, there we go. You've got your healthy smoothie. So that can be a breakfast or even a snack of some sort along the line. Now, this goes also for coffee. I mean, I'm not a coffee drinker, I'm a tea drinker. However, I do know that when I go to cafes or I'm eating out, like a pot of tea is $4.50 or anywhere between $4 and $5. And that's for hot water and a tea bag. And I'm like, whoa. So get yourself, invest in a travel mug if you don't already have one, or a ceramic, carry mug that you can actually use, so you can make your coffee first thing in the morning to actually take that, in the car on the way to work, so you can have it at work. Or, like myself, a tea drinker, I will, if I've got, if I'm out and about and I haven't had time to drink my tea in the morning, I'll pop it into my travel mug to actually carry, or, to take that out and about with me. And, having a travel mug, how sustainable is that? So here's a shout out to Waffa. Hey, girl. She runs her own sustainability company. So it's a win-win. So you're saving money and you're, helping the environment in that space as well by actually, reusing a travel mug as such in that space. So, alrighty, we're leading into tip number 4. So pre-prep your meals. So I did one of my first lives, I think it was all about meal prepping. So refer back to that one for a whole heap of tips regarding your meal prepping. But, actually pre-prep meals. So I understand that, being busy parents that we are, time is a limiting factor. Absolutely, I get it. I struggle with the same thing as well. However, if I am making, something for dinner, I actually make kind of double the ingredients. So I'm cooking anyway, right? So if I can make enough for, 2 or 3 meals, and even have some that I can then pop into the freezer, that's already, I've pre-prepped those meals. I know exactly what's in those meals. And it allows me to have food available for, the times that I am running late, or the times that I am a little bit low on time and everything like that. Hey, Jen, how are you? So, yeah, pre-prep your meals. That's a huge one. Also, if you've got a flatmate that you're living with, or ask a friend or a spouse, to help you with preparing meals. If you're doing it with a flatmate or even a friend, if you combine your food in that space and do a big cook up, spend 1 or 2 days doing a cook up, then you've got, that big, bowl or that big amount of food that you can then split between the both of you. So again, it's a win-win. It gets done quicker, you're having a good time while you're spending time together in the kitchen, and you can share the meals. So cooking, as I was saying, cooking more food than you actually need for that particular meal is amazing, because you're then able to, put extra meals into the fridge or into the freezer that are going to serve you at a different time. So, your one pot wonders are amazing here, like soups, casseroles, slow cooker. I don't have a slow cooker myself because I'm not always a huge fan on those slow cooked meats. However, I know lots of people have slow cookers. So, they're the appliances that you can make a big amount of food, oven baked meals as well, that you can actually do a bigger volume of food. That you've then got the leftovers that you can be eating for different meals, putting in the fridge and the freezer for later. Alrighty, so tip number 5, I'm crushing through these tips. So tip number 5, become a savvy shopper. #thrifty. So shout out to member Matt. Hey Matt, you and I, we are thrifty shoppers. We are always messaging each other with, thrifty deals and all the rest of it if we see them in the shops. So, Coles, Woolies, IGA, I'm sure, all of the big chain stores, as well as probably even your local greengrocer as well, they're all going to have like a markdown or a discounted area, whether it be in the fridge section or, a specific spot within your shop. So go to that area and see if there's anything that you can use. I've always got my eye out for the little markdown sticker or whatever, especially on meat, even if your meat is at, the day of that it's, used by, or the best before date, you can whack that in the freezer and you've got, accessibility to it at a later date. So you don't have to, feel as if you've got to cook with it straight away. However, if you're after something for that night, then perfect. You're getting the good quality food at a lower price. So again, win-win. I know Coles up here in Belia, they have heaps of markdown stock. They've actually got a fridge specifically for it, or a fridge section for it, which I always go and check out, just to see if there's anything like, that I eat on a regular basis that's there. Perfect. So I'm saving money straight away because it's something that I already eat in that space. And also think about, in regards to savvy shopping, think about, places that might do food in bulk. So, your butcher might have big meat packs where your actual unit cost in that space becomes a reduced price because you're buying in bulk. So obviously if you've got the space to store the food, perfect. But also, I know I go to the Russell Road egg farm, Fremantle Egg Company. So shout out to Fremantle Egg Company as well. They're amazing. They have the freshest eggs. These eggs are coming straight from the chickens. Like, they are so fresh compared to when I buy eggs at Coles. Oh my God, the difference is amazing. Like, it's just, I can't even explain it. Like, the Coles eggs, you just know are old because the egg white just goes all over your fry pan. Whereas these eggs, they're so fresh that your egg white is sitting nice and plump in your fry pan. It is amazing. And you know what? A tray of 30 eggs, when I went on the weekend, that cost me $5. Now, I know from Coles, I buy 12 for just under $5, So there we go. I'm now getting 30. They're fresher. They're better quality. And because I eat a lot of eggs, then they're not going to waste whatsoever. So that's #thrifty to me. So if any of these tips are resonating with you or you're liking them, hit the love heart button for me. Hit the like. Let me know you're watching. Say hello. If you're watching this on replay, please hit #replay in the comments as well. I love to know that you're tuning in and you're getting heaps of benefit from the lives that I'm doing. And on that, actually, if you've got any topics that you want me to cover on a live, please also pop them into the comments as well, because I'm always looking for new content that I can do that's going to help you guys. Alrighty, let's zoom along here. So we're up to tip number 6. So limit food waste. So I kind of touched on this a little bit before, and I mean, I have to admit, I'm pretty guilty of this. I will have things that say the back of my fridge or the back of my pantry that I don't even realize are there, So be conscious in the sense of when you're writing out your shopping list or when you are going to the shop, make sure you kind of know what you've got, or, write down on your list what you need and stick to your list in that space. Because there's often been times that I've had to throw things away just because I haven't gotten to use them. I guess the intent was there at the time when I bought them, or maybe they were on special, so I bought 2 packs instead of 1. However, I haven't actually used that product. So in that space, it hasn't then actually worked out to how I wanted it to work out by saving me money. It's actually cost me money because I'm not using it, right? So we want to be able to use the food that we have. Alrighty, so, and I know a lot of people, throw out food because it might have, passed its before date, or best before date, or used by date, that they end up just throwing it out. So that's a waste of money in that sense. So actually know what's in your fridge and your pantry, and use your food. Another thing I like to do as well is if I'm kind of coming to the end of the week, or if I'm at a point where, I'm quite low on food, so to speak, and I'm thinking, I need to go to Coles to get some more food, what you can actually do is just simply, the food that you do have left in the fridge or the pantry, just get creative and create like this masterpiece using the food that you have left over. The other night, actually, I cooked up, I had a zucchini left that was starting to go soft, so I knew I had to use it. So I chopped up the zucchini. I had a red onion, so I fried up the red onion, fried up the zucchini, popped in some frozen corn and did like a bit of a veggie stir fry, and then served that together with the chicken that I had for dinner. So that was my dinner, and I actually made quite a big serve, so it actually went 3 ways. So I made, got 3 meals out of it. I had quite a big zucchini, and the onion was quite big as well. So I got 3 meals out of that, and that was me literally just going, don't know what this is going to taste like. Hopefully it tastes okay. I put in some garlic and some pepper and, some herbs and stuff, and it was amazing. And it was, something different because I don't have that as well. So it was visually stimulating, and it was appetizing in the sense because I hadn't had it before. And, obviously, I'm guessing obviously the things you have in your fridge or your pantry is things that you like to eat. So I knew that I liked all those, 3 ingredients. So why would they not taste good altogether? So yeah, and another thing, I guess, with that leftover, or, the food that is left, so to speak, and you might not have enough for, a meal that you want to do. However, what you can do is just chop up, those veggies or the fruit or, some cheese or, the little bits and pieces, and have a bit of a bitzer platter, so to speak, for that night's dinner instead. So something really casual. I do that quite a bit with my daughter, and we kind of sit on either the couch, or I put like a blanket or something on the tiles in our living room floor, because I don't have carpet in there. I've got tiles, so it's not always nice to sit on the tiles. But we sit there and have like a picnic style meal, and it's amazing. Sometimes on the weekends for lunch, and it's just really cash, and it's, again, different, and it's fun. Like, it's actually my daughter loves it. So we're doing something together. We're sitting in a different place. We might have a movie on. So it's creating a different atmosphere, and it's just stimulating. So, and it's fun for the kids. I know my daughter isn't always that keen to sit at the table, So sitting anywhere but at the table is always going to be, a highlight for her in that space. Alrighty, so still on limit food waste. So another thing around that is actually plan your meals for the week before you shop. So if you actually plan out what meals you're going to have, and if you actually, I just thought, if you need a food planner, like a food diary planner or a weekly planner, pop it in the comments below. I've got some planners that I can give out to you that will help you to actually plan your meals for the week. So just pop hashtag weekly planner in there. So if you're planning your meals, then you're going to, when you go to the shop, you're only going to buy enough for those meals. So you might have chicken, I don't know, 3 times a week, let's say, because you love chicken. So you're only going to, only buy, say, 1 kilo of chicken. That's going to cover those 3 meals. So then that way there's not a lot of wastage in that space as well. So if you have a plan and a list, prepare to only cater for what you need. Alrighty. Okay, so tip number 7, moving right along. Wow, I'm cranking through this. Loving it. Alrighty, so when you're shopping, actually look at the unit cost of foods. So it's very easy to see, your little price per packet of biscuits or, cereal or, bread, whatever you're actually buying in that space, or the meat. So it's easy, obviously, to just see that total price. But now, the shops will actually give you a unit cost per 100 grams. Alrighty, so just be really aware of different actual package sizes. So something might be, the price on your little tag might be cheaper, but then when you actually compare it to the product next to it, it might be cheaper because it's less product, less weight within that package. Alrighty, so that's where your unit cost, so per 100 grams, is going to come in beneficial for you in that space. So you want to look at that and choose then, products that are cheaper per 100 grams, if you're then on a budget in that space. So also looking at bulk products, or, buying in bulk or buying bigger packets, like protein powder, I guess, is a perfect example. Yes, you might have an upfront cost of, say, I don't know, $80 thereabouts, but that might be for 2 kilos worth of, or 1 kilo worth of protein powder, just depending on, the brand that you're getting. So if you're actually to look at the unit cost per serving, and because it's bulk, it's a bigger size, it's actually going to work out cheaper for you in the long run. And protein powder is a great one in the space of, you can add it to casseroles, you can add it to your smoothies, you can have it just as a drink by itself, and it's going to create and provide you with the protein, so the feeling fuller for longer feeling. It's going to help you to tone up in that space and to cut through the fat. So that's why I use protein powder as an example, because you can buy it in bulk, and over the long run it works out super, super cheap, and it's totally versatile that you can use. Alrighty, so look at the serving size. That's the big one with then the unit cost of foods in that space. Alrighty, well, I think I'm done. They're my top 7 tips for eating healthy on a budget. So I really hope this helped you out today, guys. Let me know your favorite tip. And if you've got any of your own tips to share that you use, then pop them down below as well. That will help out the rest of the team within, or the rest of the family within this Facebook group. And that's going to show them some benefit as well. So if you're watching this on replay, please hit hashtag replay. Give me a like, give me a heart button if anything resonated with you or you liked some of these tips. Let me know which ones you're going to use. Again, if you have any questions, please pop them spit out my words. Pop them below. I love to be able to help you out with anything. If I don't know the answer, then I'm going to look for you. I'm going to actually find it out. So that helps me to learn too. So again, win-win. Alrighty, guys. I hope you have the most amazing Thursday. Much love to you. Peace. See ya.